Once upon a time, there was a revered monk who had reached the end of his journey on earth. As he lay on his deathbed, surrounded by his disciples and a large crowd of followers, he mustered his remaining strength to impart one final message to his chosen successor, a young monk named Mom. With a solemn voice, he uttered his last words, "Remember this, my dear Mom. Never allow a cat in your life." And with that, the great monk took his last breath and passed away, leaving everyone in awe of his enigmatic parting statement. The successor monk, bewildered and curious, pondered the significance of his master's final words. "Why should I avoid having a cat in my life?" he wondered. Regardless of his confusion, the young monk respectfully performed the rituals for the cremation of his beloved master. Even after the funeral rites were complete, the successor monk couldn't shake off the lingering thoughts about his master's cryptic advice. Sensing his turmoil, an old monk from the same monastery, who had served his master for many years, approached him with a gentle curiosity. Seeing the young monk lost in contemplation, the old monk inquired about the reason for his concern. The young monk shared his confusion, and the old monk nodded knowingly. "My dear friend," the old monk began, "you are unaware of the profound story behind those words." He proceeded to recount the tale of their master's journey. Long ago, their master had renounced his worldly possessions, bidding farewell to his wife, children, and home as he retreated into the solitude of the jungle. He settled near a small village, where he survived by begging for food from the villagers. Recognizing the presence of a holy monk among them, the villagers constructed a humble bamboo cottage for him. With only 2 sets of clothes to wear, the master faced a predicament when a group of rats invaded his dwelling, relentlessly chewing on his meager attire. Troubled by the situation, the monk sought guidance from the villagers. Their simple solution was to introduce a cat into his life, as it would keep the rats at bay. Embracing their advice, the monk acquired a cat, which effectively guarded his cottage from the rats' mischief. However, a new challenge arose. The cat needed to be fed, and the monk had to make regular visits to the village to beg for milk. Recognizing the monk's predicament, the villagers proposed a solution. They offered him a cow, which would not only provide ample milk for both himself and the cat, but also grant him independence. With the arrival of the cow, the monk required grass to sustain it, and someone to tend to its needs. Thus, he found himself obligated to visit the village each day to beg for grass. This arrangement drew attention, and people questioned the sight of a respected monk seeking grass. In response, the villagers devised another plan. They approached a widow in the village who had no one to care for her. They convinced her that serving the monk would bring her solace and purpose. The widow willingly agreed and became responsible for the monk's cottage, the cow, and the cat. In return, the villagers cleared a portion of land beside the cottage for her to cultivate crops, ensuring her sustenance and providing care for the monk during times of illness. As time passed, the monk and the widow began to work together tirelessly, cultivating the land and tending to their shared responsibilities. Gradually, their shared efforts fostered a deep connection, and love blossomed between them. They lived in the same cottage, and their lives seemed complete. Soon enough, the widow became pregnant, and the joy of a child entered their world. It was at this moment that the monk realized the weight of his decisions and the unintended consequences that unfolded. The realization struck him like a thunderbolt, shaking the foundation of his spiritual journey. He had set out to renounce the world, to detach himself from worldly desires and attachments. Yet, in the pursuit of a simple solution to protect his clothes from rats, he had unknowingly allowed a cat into his life. That seemingly innocent act had set off a chain of events that led him back into the complexities of human relationships and worldly responsibilities. In his attempt to feed the cat, he had accepted the gift of a cow, which in turn required grass and care. To fulfill these needs, the widow had entered their lives, and with time, they had formed an intimate bond. Love had entangled their hearts, and their shared responsibilities had pulled him away from the path he had chosen. The monk's enlightenment had come at a great cost. He had sacrificed the simplicity and solitude he sought, and instead, he found himself entangled in a web of attachments and worldly duties. The cat had become a metaphor for the slippery slope of the mind, which, once given a small leverage, could gradually gain control, leading one astray from their original intentions. As the old monk finished recounting the story, the successor monk finally understood the depth of his master's parting words. The cat symbolized the mind's tendency to grasp onto desires and indulge in worldly pleasures, even if they seemed harmless at first. It was a cautionary tale, a reminder to always be mindful of the choices one makes and to guard against the gradual erosion of one's spiritual path. Deeply moved by the story, the successor monk vowed to carry the wisdom of his master with him. He would remain vigilant, never allowing his mind to take hold of desires and attachments that could divert him from his true purpose. With renewed determination, he embraced the teachings of his master and embarked on his own journey, committed to staying true to the path of spiritual enlightenment. And so, the legacy of the great monk lived on through his successor, and the story of the cat served as a timeless reminder for generations to come. A reminder to guard against the temptations that could slowly entrap one's spirit and lead them away from the essence of true freedom and inner peace. This is Wonderful Words of Life Motivation. Thanks for watching.